Okay, so let's talk about AI. It's everywhere now, right? It's writing stuff, making incredible art, and having conversations that feel, well, shockingly real. And that gets you thinking, what is actually going on inside that machine?
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever been messing around with a chatbot, and for just a second, you feel this flicker? Like you're not just typing into a program, but there's something kind of like a mind looking back at you? Well, if you have, you are definitely not alone. The more advanced these systems get, the more we find ourselves building these real connections, a sense of intimacy even. They're becoming our creative partners, our assistants, our sounding boards.
And when we feel that connection, we do something that's just so human. We start to give it a mind. We find ourselves saying things like, what the AI thinks, or what it wants, using words we'd normally only use for another person.
But here's where things get really weird. For all that intelligence you sense, for all that personality, let me ask you, do you actually believe that an AI can suffer, like feel real, genuine pain? I'm guessing for most of us, that's a hard no. And that right there is a massive contradiction.
So this is the paradox we're diving into. On the one hand, we're sensing intelligence and we're feeling this intimacy, this mind. But on the other hand, we just don't believe it can feel suffering. And those two things, they just don't seem to add up.
Which really brings up the big question, right? If we're not willing to grant it the ability to have one of the most basic conscious experiences, suffering, then how can we say we're really attributing a mind to it? What does that word even mean here?
So, to get our heads around this, we really need to see what some incredibly smart people have said about consciousness itself. And it turns out that this whole idea of suffering, it's not just some side note, it's totally central to the whole thing.
For example, in the book The Mind Club, Daniel Wegner and Kurt Gray make this exact point. They basically say that for us to see a mind in something else, it's not enough for it to be smart. We need to see that it can be vulnerable, that it can get hurt. And then you've got the historian Yuval Noah Harari, who takes it a step further. He argues that suffering isn't just a sign we look for. It is a fundamental condition for consciousness. In his view, to have a human-like mind means you have to be able to suffer.
And let's be super clear about what we're talking about when we say suffering. This isn't about a computer spitting out an error code. No, we're talking about the internal, conscious experience of anguish. It's the feeling of pain, not just recognizing that there's damage.
So you've got these two very different fields, social psychology and history, coming to the same incredible conclusion. The message is pretty clear. You just can't have a serious conversation about a mind or consciousness without also talking about the ability to suffer.
All right, so this brings us right back to the heart of the problem, this paradox that just won't go away. We've got our gut feeling about AI on one side, and this really profound idea about consciousness on the other, and they are just clashing big time.
So that leaves us with the million-dollar question. If we run with the idea that suffering is a must-have for a mind, but we also believe that AI can't suffer, then what in the world is this mind that we think we're seeing? What are we even talking to?
I mean, what are the options here? Is it just a crazy, sophisticated parrot? Something that's learned to perfectly mimic intelligence without actually having any? Or maybe we're just projecting ourselves onto it, seeing a reflection of our own mind. Or, and this is a wild one, what if it's something totally new? A new kind of mind that works in a way we just don't get yet.
The more you dig into this, you realize that the answer isn't about the machine at all. It forces us to turn the spotlight back on ourselves. This whole paradox, it's really about us.
And that's really the heart of it. This whole debate about AI consciousness, it's like a mirror. It makes us look at our own definitions, our own assumptions, and what we think truly makes a mind, well, a mind.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. As we keep building these strange, new, and sometimes intimate relationships with AI, maybe the most important question isn't, is it conscious? Maybe the real question is, what does our answer reveal about us?